Welcome to the Jeremiah Show. I don't have words for this album. You don't need words anyway. You simply need to listen to it. And you're lucky I'm playing it for you this entire hour. It is, and I'm talking about the album, the music equivalent of a black and white photo snapshot from your very best day. When your skin smelled like the sun and the ocean and your cheeks stung from smiling all day. You remember that photo? Remember that day? That's what this album's like. It was an endless day, a perfect day. This album is a soundtrack for that perfect day. Sometimes an album can make you feel like the musicians are scoring your life and they're capturing your emotions on their music sheet. They add the horns when your day feels like jazz, the piano when you're thoughtful and you remember, a violin when you have lost a love, a soulful voice to soothe you and sing only to you. Those days when you could use a friend. This is an album that can sharpen and define your life and help you make sense of it. Very few albums have this power. Very few musicians can create this bond with their listeners. The album is an understanding between you and those musicians. It was meant for you, and it beckons you, and it leads you down a glimmering path. My special guest today is Luis Muñoz. He is a Costa Rican composer, producer, arranger, and percussionist who has released 10 albums of award-winning original compositions. He is joined by his his longtime contributor, almost a lifetime now, Lois Mahalia.
Yeah.
Luis's 2015 album Vaz was called a perfect album, 5 stars by the Latin Jazz Network. Downbeat Magazine included it in the best albums of the year list, and Jazziz Magazine named it one of the 12 best albums of the year. Vaz won 2 ACAM awards. That's Association of Composers and Musical Authors in Latin America, including Jazz Album of the Year. Luis has so many awards and so many recognitions that I have to break them into installments during each segment. So more to come on his accomplishments. But if I did it all at once, the show would be over. That's how accomplished he is. And if you've seen Luis play or heard his albums, I don't need to tell you. Welcome, Luis and Lois.
Hello.
Hey, Jeremiah, hello. What a pleasure being here with you, my friend. And that was an amazing, yeah. I mean, you want a job? I'm looking for a publicist, man.
You got it. I'm there for you anytime. Just put me up front when you guys are playing.
There you go.
I'll
man.
trade for a couple of tickets.
Yeah. It's great to have.
It's so great. And we were talking off air. I just have to point this out that we've known each other for so many years. When I saw you, I think I saw you at Lois's last show, and we passed each other in the crowd, and you have this warm, beautiful face that I'm like, how do I know? Besides, I know of you and your music, but like I feel like I knew you. And we just discovered that you used to play down at the Sea Cove Cafe across from the City College on Ledbetter Beach in Santa Barbara. It was Terry Briggs and his wife, his mother Patty was a famous jazz musician, and you were there. So I probably served you coffee, and it's amazing.
Well, yeah, after spending 48 beautiful years in the beautiful city of Santa Barbara, such a small city, and people that get to really, I mean, things have changed a lot, but in the old days, in those days that you're mentioning, it was very easy to practically know the entire city. Everybody was there, in the same scene. listening to jazz, you know, in front of the ocean and everything. Beautiful, beautiful memories indeed.
Yeah, definitely. This new album, you guys, I got to congratulate you. Such an amazing, really just a beautiful album that I can't get enough of. In fact, I do this, you know, before the show, I'll listen over and over and over. And listened to it today. I was texting Lois and I just said, wow, you guys, Glimmering Path is the album, the new album. And it's really incredible. I'm really happy that we get to share it today on the show. Really happy that we've connected so many years later on this show. But I got to ask both of you, this is a question for both of you. What kind of spell did you two just put on me? I'm
Go ahead,
serious.
Lois.
Are you
You get
bewitched? Are you bewitched? Oh my
I'm
God.
bewitched.
I hope it's the spell of love. I hope it's the spell of, like, you know, I don't know, life, like to understand life in a beautiful melodic way.
Yes, indeed.
It
You
was
know, it's interesting because when you create music and you find a team of artists to collaborate with, and you feel that everything clicks to the point that you know, you start to hear the presence of those artists in your music while you're writing it, you know, and then you make it a reality in the studio, and you feel that energy and that vibe of love, of inner peace, of, you know, whatever empathy, compassion, whatever you want to transmit through that, through sound, is very much present in the songs. And then the listener just is there to, you know, with an open heart to receive it. And then that's one of the greatest things about music, that you get to be touched and to touch others emotionally through sound, you know. And with Lois, it's been wonderful because this is our second full-on project together. And I write with her voice in mind. I mean, she has such a gorgeous voice and she's such a beautiful person that is just a joyful experience to collaborate with her. And that translates, and that, you know, that's felt by the audience as well.
Thank you, Luis. I'm so happy. I'm so honored. You know, just for my thing, when Luis would bring music to me or songs to me to learn and record, I felt literally like he knew me, right? Like he understood. Yeah. And so singing the notes, putting my heart into it, singing words that are just amazing. I was able to just tap into that because it's like, I feel like it's just a part of my soul already. You know what I mean? So I just kind of needed to just connect to it. And I feel like that came out in this beautiful album.
It did. It really did. And I think you're right. I think he knew you, you know, he knew, like you said, maybe you were writing with her in mind, with Lois in mind, but your last album, Chasing the Sun, Lois, was really an incredible album. And I just think that this album, it might be some of your best work. And that's saying a lot because you've got some good work out there. So the two of you together are really wonderful collaborators. Like I said in the opening, how do I describe this album? I mean, you really just have to listen to it, but it is. And then what came to me finally was a perfect day. You know, that perfect day that we've all had, but maybe not that often, right? But you know it when you had one. You know, it's just maybe you got to sleep in later, you had the best cup of coffee ever, and a long breakfast, and you're with a friend, and you know, you spend the day at the beach or the sun. It's a long day, you know, and the sun finally goes down, and you go out and you listen to some jazz at a club, and it just continues into the night moon. You know, it's that perfect day, and the reason I call it. That's the best way for me to describe it, is because it takes you different levels, different time periods of maybe a perfect day. It takes you, you know, there's that this sultry, you know, beautiful, sexy kind of late night song. There's, you know, the instrumental pieces. It's the horns, the piano. I mean, just everything come together different. It kind of took me through different emotions that I may have throughout my day. And I feel like it's an album that's timeless, that will be favorite, many of your listeners' favorites on their favorite list forever. Don't
Thanks.
are you guys
That's nice of you to say.
Yes.
You know, we are storytellers. You know, that's our thing. We tell our story, the story of our lives, and you know, some people say that some artists approach their albums as a singular, particular story each album. The way I approach my musical production is that from the very first record that I ever did, you know, 1980 in San Jose, Costa Rica, till this record, is just a continuation of this one same story, just one same story. And as you go through life, as you go through all the experiences, as you go and being touched by all the people that cross your path, you know, all those elements make the story that is infinite until no longer is, you know.
What story is it telling about your life at this point in your life? Is it,
you
is
know,
there a theme?
I try to live my life from a point of gratitude and given, being in the present at all times. I certain things happened to me when I was a little boy that made me realize that life is quite short, because I was in touch with my mortality at age 5. And so that experience that came to me at an early age made me live life from that moment on till the present, precisely that way, in the present, in the moment, at all times. So, for example, I wake up at 4:30 every morning and I watch the sunrise every morning of every day of my life, because, you know, once I die, I won't get to do that anymore, and so I have to take advantage of the moments when I'm able to do that. And every one of those sunrises is completely different, and I try to translate that emotional experience on every morning of my life through sound and music, you know. And those are the kind of things that I add to that story. Right now, I'm in a great spot. I'm pretty much, I mean, I'm so grateful, man. I pretty much always been in a great spot. And to tell you the truth, you know, not that I haven't experienced pain, you know, is the human experience, you know, but I'm grateful, man. I'm good. I'm good with everything.
Can you share the experience that happened to you at 5 that you faced mortality?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. I was born with a problem in my heart, and they knew that I needed open heart surgery or I would die. But this was in the 50s. The technology wasn't that advanced at the time. And the musical community in Costa Rica was neither as advanced as it was necessary in order to perform that surgery in a safe manner. So they decided to wait 5 years for me to grow and get healthier and stronger, hopefully. And by the time when I turned 5, they flew me from San Jose, Costa Rica to Mexico City, and they opened me up and they did a open heart surgery.
Wow, what a thing to go through at that age. And you said pretty much from 5 on, you've been grateful and appreciated every day. At that age,
absolutely,
to realize
man.
that, I guess that's a gift. It was given.
It's a gift.
Away,
it's a blessing in disguise, because kids don't get in touch with their mortality at that age. You know, you're into Batman and cowboys and Indians and little cars and little animals and things, you know, and protected by all the joy and all the tenderness of your parents, you know, in a beautiful, idyllic surrounding you, so, you know, with coffee fields around you and cows and everything. That was my world then, you know.
So it's almost in a way, it's like you got an extension of life, because you were aware so much younger than most people wake up near the end of their life and say, "What? Now I want to live. Now I want to see the sunrise every day." No, I don't have that many days left, so that's, in a way, it's a gift. So, Luis, we've known each other. We have never sat down and talked like this. Do you mind if I get to know you just a little bit? Like, what was that little boy, Luis, after 5? Like, where did you grow up? What area of Costa Rica? What town? And, like, what was your dream as a little boy at that, when you can remember?
I had, oh my goodness, I have such a wonderful life, man. My house was surrounded, like I said before, by coffee fields, and there was a river, and there were these humongous trees. And I would just play with all my friends in the coffee fields and the river. And I had my father had 17 brothers and sisters. I had a ton of cousins, very close family, very tight family, in a beautiful area of San Jose, Costa Rica at the time. And, it was just an idyllic existence, pretty much. I started doing music at an early age. I mean, I remember banging on those drums and everything in boxes in the early 60s, and I never stopped. Every one of my father's brothers and sisters was an amateur musician. And after church, they will get together and they will jam, so to speak,
Nice.
And there were a couple of composers in the family too, So it was also
music,
a
music in
DNA
the family.
thing. Yes, it was a DNA thing too, So I just couldn't ask for anything better than that. Of course, I had my rebel times, because I remember, for example, after the surgery, I showed up 3 months late to first grade. And I remember a very strange thing that happened to me on the first day, but interesting too. I went and the teacher grabbed me by the hand and walked me into the classroom and said something to the effect of, "Children, this is your new fellow student. His name is Luis Muñoz. Please don't play too much with him, because he could die. He had a thing, something." And I'm going, "Wait a minute, what are you talking about?"
Wow.
So from that moment on, I became almost like extra, not aggressive, but extra active. Maybe trying to
Prove
myself that I was immortal, like most kids feel they are at that age,
So
but ultimately, I immersed myself into music, and once I tasted music, I received such an incredible type of joy from music that nothing ever separated me from it ever again. And I was almost like a little hermit. And then I did the drug thing. I did the rock and roll star thing. I did the huge concerts in Costa Rica. I was a boy band little star in the little country, all kinds of funny things like that, But I was always in tune with my heart. Always in tune with my heart.
Good way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
So the town that you grew up in, was there music in the town that you and your family would go see, like live music, or was it church mainly that
Costa Rica is very special in the sense that it is right at the center of the American continent: North America, Central America, and South America. And Costa Rica is in Central America, right between Nicaragua and Panama, at the very center. So I had access to everything coming from the north, everything coming from the south, and everything coming from the Caribbean. So in my house, we would listen to Toña La Negra or Agustín Lara, or boleros from Cuba, or tango from Argentina, or the music from Antonio Carlos Jobim and Caetano Veloso from Brazil. But I will also listen to Jimi Hendrix and Bob Dylan and the British Invasion. And my father will play Chopin or Stravinsky in the radio and stuff like that. So it was a full-on thing, you know, it was really wonderful.
Do you think that contributed to your style and to, you know, what you've created for yourself as a music artist?
Most definitely, most definitely. Uh, um, you know, we
It's a
are
lot
the
of
product.
different influences. And
Yeah,
how do you
we're the
take
product of
those?
our environment. Yeah, we're the product of our environment. We're a product of all
Mhm.
those elements that present that make themselves present into your life and move you emotionally, you know, and indelibly
Yeah.
too. You know, you're just marked by those things. I mean, you hear the Rite of Spring at age 11, or you go and see Rudolph Nureyev dance ballet at the National Opera House, or you go and play, you know, listen to this little country person play in the simplest, most beautiful way the guitar and with a marimba or something like that. All those things mark you indelibly and make you who you are. And yes, so absolutely, absolutely, it's huge influence everything on myself as an artist now.
Yeah. And I imagine over the years you've explored all these different influences and made them your own in some way. What era would you say you're in now? How would you describe what interests you right now? What you're pulling from and drawing from for inspiration to create your music?
Yeah, you know, it's funny. Everything at the same time. For example, in the new record, the first song, it was written after a song by a band called Weather Report, a fusion band, a song of them called Blackthorn Rose. The second song was influenced by Björk, the Icelandic singer. The third song by a weird band from the Bay Area called En Vogue. These three gals, beautiful R&B singers. I don't know why that
Yeah.
influenced.
Yeah.
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 En Vogue, yeah.
I know In Vogue for sure.
We don't.
The fourth song by Jeff Beck's Blow by Blow album, you know, and so forth and so on. You know, it's just that's the wonderful thing about being a composer right now. You don't place any limitations on what you write or what you play. You know, not like the old days where the record label used to tell you what to record or what not to record. Carte blanche, open door, anything goes.
Do you like that?
Oh,
Do you like that you have freedom, right? I mean, because an artist can try out any genre now, and as long as they've got some talent, they can, you know, be heard. So yeah, I would imagine as an artist, it must be a freeing time in a way. It might be harder to get heard and listened to, but it feels like it's probably a freeing time artistically for an artist.
Absolutely. But you know, plus I mean, we hope for a good large audience at all times. But I personally write for myself. You know, I write whatever pleases me, and then with the hope that, you know, it will please others. You know, but yeah, these are wonderful times to be an artist, and I think the role of an artist in this world we live in right now is even much more important now than ever, because, you know, we must find the beauty around us. We must express and share that with an audience.
Yeah.
Do you both? I've got to take a break, but I'm going. Everything you say, I've got to. You know, I want to keep the conversation going. You're sparking my interest. I'm supposed to spark you. You said you're sparking me. Stop it.
I love it.
Stop the fire. Now I lost my train of thought. Do you feel responsibility, both of you, as an artist, or is it just, hey, I'm gonna create and do the best I can and do what I love and, you know, explore new things with musicians? Or is there an overlying in the back of your mind, on your back at some point, hey, I've also got I've got a responsibility in a way to uplift this world, especially right now, but always. Does that you know,
Miss Lois?
Yeah, I mean,
I passed it to you.
I wouldn't use the word responsible for everyone else, but I think I feel a responsibility to myself, you know, to because I was given this gift to like let out all the emotions, let out all the things that I need to do. that to get through my life, you know. I feel that responsibility. But at the same time, like I was thinking about when Luis was saying about, you know, I have to love what I do. I think that's just the most important thing, is that anytime I perform, I have to say to myself, do you believe what you're singing?
Right.
Do you actually feel that? Because that when I do that, I know that someone in the audience somewhere is going to
Yeah.
feel the same thing, you know? And that has
So
happened a lot.
as long as you are true to yourself as an artist and as a person, and
Yeah.
and connect with
Yeah.
yourself and what you're feeling, what you're sharing, that you are everybody. Basically, you're gonna,
Yeah.
they're going, the audience and the listener will find it and
Yes.
find the message.
Yes. And I feel like, you know, too many times artists try to reach certain people and go, okay, this person's my audience, or these people are my audience. And I don't believe that should be. I believe it just should be just anyone, really, anyone that wants to listen, yay. You know, and if
Mhm.
you don't want to listen, I still love you the same. You don't have to be my fan or anything like that. And I think it just keeps us honest, really, just music keeps me honest, I have to say, because it's the best place I can just let go of caring what other people think, caring what they care about, and even let go of what I think and care about sometimes, because sometimes you just have no control of what's happening in life. And music to me, singing and music is just a way of just putting all that into it, like just going, okay, I have no control, it's all good.
Yes,
You know,
yes, and letting go and
letting go.
artistic honesty, and yeah, you can do like social commentary and stuff, but it's mainly just, again, be in the moment, be spontaneous, be free,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
just let the sound and the music and the dialogue among the musicians just transport you to worlds and to states of mind that nothing else in the world gives you. I mean, yeah, love is
Doesn't give you.
wonderful, you
Right.
know, friendship, sex, food,
Mm.
everything. But what music gives you is so different, like anything else in the world, you know.
I agree.
My special guest today, Luis Muñoz and Lois Mahalia. Luis Muñoz is a composer, a producer, an arranger. He's a percussionist. Lois Mahalia is a singer and songwriter. She's probably all those things too. Their new album, the new album by Luis Muñoz, is Glimmering Path. It's I can't give it enough praise. There's just not enough words. You just have to listen to it. So we're gonna play some for you. Glimmering Path limited pressing LP is for sale now. Get it now before it goes away. LuisMuñoz.net. You can go and buy music, or you can go to Bandcamp, LuisMuñoz.bandcamp.com. Check him out on Facebook and follow him. Do not stalk him, but follow him a little bit of a distance. Keep up to with what he's doing. Instagram at Luis J Muñoz, MUNOZ. Official website, LuisMuñoz.net again. And you can find all of that at his link tree, Luis J Muñoz. Okay. I hope you remember that. They've got upcoming shows in California. We're going to talk about that soon. There are some great videos I want you to check out on YouTube. Lords of War. Oh my God, guys, this song is amazing. And I think I'm coming in with it. Yes, I am. I'm coming in with it right after the break. So hang out. We'll be right back with my very special guest, Luis Muñoz and Lois Mahalia. Don't go anywhere.